And so it begins. We are getting a Sith raid with the Sith Triumvirate, which is Nihilus, Sion, and Traya. And we know that, and they're going to start kind of trickling out the information. And so now we are getting the kits for Darth Sion and Visas Marr. So these are the two characters that we're going to get, and these are marquee characters. And then Traya is going to be the raid reward character. Now, the way that these characters were presented to us was really cool. When we were at the event, they put together this presentation of just going really in depth of what they were thinking when they were putting together these kits. And there was a lot of like thought about who the character is. And if you don't know, don't worry, I'm not that well versed in lore. Wikipedia is like your best friend with this. But the devs, they really put a lot of thought and joy into creating these characters and making sure that the kits kind of like felt true to the character, that they made sense. And I think they did a really good job. And the footage that you're seeing that I'll have playing during the whole part is basically the opportunity that we were given when we were there. Is we were given the chance to play with these two characters in arena. So I'm going to go over Visas Marr first because I don't have as much to say about her, purely because, like I said, we were playing in arena and she's not really built for arena. So there wasn't, like, we all felt like we weren't really using her to her full potential, that she would be really good in other areas. Darth Sion, on the other hand, whew, he's a lot of fun. And I mean, I try really hard to like hold my final judgment until we get to like get our hands on them and play and in the real world, not on like a dev account, but he's just so fun to watch. He's so fun to use. You'll see, like, you probably might have to watch this 2 times because the first time you'll just be watching and like mesmerized. Our reactions upon seeing like these kits and seeing the footage and all this stuff. So we're just like, so let's get right into it. So Visas Marr, if you don't know who Visas Marr is, just quick blurb from someone who isn't super aware. She was Nihilus's apprentice that turned to the light side. So all of this is coming from KOTOR 2, which is Knights of the Old Republic 2. It was a game that came out a while ago, and I have like a bitter story because it would always crash on me and I never got to finish it, but it's one of the very classic Star Wars games, so it's really cool that they're going to this era. It's very exciting. So Visas Marr, she's just a light side healer. Those are her only tags. And she was Nihilus's apprentice, so that's kind of tying into all the stuff from last February with Nihilus. So her basic telekinetic blast, it deals physical damage, and it will dispel all debuffs on her and a random debuffed ally. So she has a cleanse for herself and a random person on her basic. And that's going to be important because she does have some countering and some assisting built into her kit, which we'll see later in her unique. But so that's going to play a part, so pay attention to her basic. If the target is a Sith, then her and the lowest health ally, so this is similar to Barriss kind of things going on, but she's so much better than Barriss already. They'll both recover a quarter of their health, which is pretty good. And then if any debuffs were dispelled, then it reduces her really good special by 1. So a lot of kind of the patterns that we saw with Nihilus of like reducing cooldowns, ticking time bomb, they kind of play out in Visas and Sion. So her first special is Dark Healing, and this is the really good special. It has a cooldown of 8, and it will do physical damage to all enemies, and then all the allies get health steal, so for 1 turn, and then they recover health equal to 35% of her max health. So that's a character you're going to want to mod her pretty heavily for health, since everyone's getting a percentage of her health. If she's at full health after using this ability, revive a random ally at 50% health. So she can revive. This special is really good because you're doing damage to everyone. You're giving everyone health steal, which is a nice buff. You're healing everyone, and then you also have the possibility to revive. And it's on an 8-turn cooldown, but remember, if she dispels anything on her basic, she cleanses debuffs, then it gets reduced. Then her second special, this one, the first special I was pretty impressed with, and it seemed fun and cool, and it seems like it was reducing pretty well. Like, I felt like we could use it a lot, and it was really cool on like a Kenobi team. We got to bring Kenobi back, we got to bring R2 back. Like, it was a fun ability, and it was fun to use her. I don't usually find like healers to be that fun, but I did enjoy using her. Her second special, though, I feel like I haven't really figured out its use or its purpose. I don't know. It does physical damage, and it gives everyone defense penetration. That's not ignoring. Okay, so this attack ignores protection, but defense speak crazy. I haven't recovered from the trip. Defense penetration isn't a buff that allows you to ignore protection. We thought that's what it was at first, so I think that was like over exciting about that, but the attack that she's doing ignores protection. The thing is, this attack just doesn't do much damage. It hits really light, which I like characters that do damage, so that's why I'm kind of like I don't know. So that, I don't know, maybe that has some use in the raid or in other game modes. We'll have to see. But we like I said, we only got to try it in arena, and we were kind of like, I'm not really digging this second special. And then she does have a unique, and this has a Zeta. So the full part is, while she has no debuffs, she has, actually, sorry, without the Zeta. Let me say it without the Zeta, and then I'll say what the Zeta adds. Without the Zeta, while Visas has no debuffs, she has a 60% chance to assist whenever anyone's attacking a Sith. So she's very anti-Sith, basically. If someone's attacking a Sith, she's going to assist. And remember, like I said, when she's assisting, her basic cleanses herself and a random person, which is really good versus Sith because they just live off of debuffs. And then the Zeta adds in a 100% counter chance. So even more of that basic being used. All right, let's get into the Darth Sion. This guy, just look at him. Oh man. And what was really cool about how these characters were presented, I mean that whole day is a blur. I was like exploding with information, but they presented like the abilities, right? And then later we saw the animations. So we already were like hearing the information going like, whoa, crazy, that sounds what? Like a head spinning. And then we got to see the animations like on their own, and his animations are unbelievable. Like just, wow, they're so cool. Okay, so Dark Rage is his basic. So okay, so Darth Sion is one of the Triumvirate, and his whole thing is he's the Lord of Pain, and he like can't be killed. He's like digs into pain to stay alive. It's like crazy, just the insanity of just pain. So the whole kit is centered around pain. So Nihilus is like hunger, and Sion is pain. So Dark Rage will deal physical damage to the target enemy. This is so exciting. And inflicts pain. So this is a new debuff. And if the target already had pain, then it will dispel all debuffs on Sion. So he will cleanse himself. And he will cleanse himself on his basic. And we know from one of R2-D2's Zeta's combat analysis that being able to dispel on something like a basic is quite useful, because then that can get rid of the ability block debuff, which is one of the most annoying debuffs in the game. What pain does... Actually, let me see if I can... Where's the description of pain? What pain does is that unit, if they have pain, they will take bonus damage from Darth Sion, and that doesn't stack. It's just like a one-time thing. If it's stacked, then whoa, OP as all hell. Okay, so then his first special, Torment. This special is so fun to use. Just bask in its glory. Just watch it on loop. Open the forum post with the GIF or watch the footage as we're using it. Oh, it's so fun. So he does physical damage to all enemies and he dispels all buffs. He inflicts pain on all enemies for 3 turns, and then he reduces the cooldown for every enemy that doesn't have pain. So he's laying down the pain, and if he misses any, then he'll get the ability back faster to put it back on there. And the attack can't be evaded. So they have all this debuffs, these foresights. He's like, don't care. He just crushes it all and inflicts pain on everyone. And anyone who resists it, he's like, all right, well, I'll just come back in a few turns and put that on there. Oh. His second special, there's 3, by the way. He has 3 specials. Don't worry, he doesn't have 5,000 Zetas. The second special, he deals physical damage, he inflicts pain for 3 turns. Long debuff. It can be cleansed. Sorry, my clock. The attack can't be evaded again, so any dodge meta is going to have a really hard time against him. If they already had pain, then the attack deals 100% more damage, and he recovers 35% protection. And he is a tank, so recovering 35% protection on a tank, and you'll see his kit does have a taunt in it, so that's very helpful, and there's going to be a lot of pain going around. And this special will do a ton more damage if they already have pain. If they don't, then he puts it on. It's a very handy ability to be using. Alright, third special, Held by Hatred. This has a cooldown of 15. So if you're seeing, like I said, with Nihilus and a little bit with Visas, we have these like ticking time bomb things. Like Visas didn't have ticking time bomb, she just had like cooldown reductions. But Sion and Nihilus, it was these really strong specials that you're kind of just anxiously waiting for them to set off. They don't necessarily come out of the gates blazing, but you're just like waiting on the edge of your seat for them to get there. Attacking it is pretty uneasy. I did a fair amount of attacking, seeing what could like beat it, and it's not fun. It's not a fun experience. So this special, the third special that has a cooldown of 15, Sion dispels all debuffs on himself. He recovers 100% health, 100% turn meter, so immediately goes again. He gains hatred until he's defeated, and that can't be dispelled and it can't be prevented. So it's a locked buff. The ability starts on cooldown. When he inflicts pain, that's what reduces this cooldown. So it's a 15 turn cooldown, but we've been seeing a lot of his kit is inflicting pain, so it doesn't take very long. And I can say from experience, it doesn't take very long. It's very stressful when you're fighting it. What Hatred does, it's kind of like a really nasty bounty hunter's resolve. He gets an extra 25% critical chance, 100% defense, 100% offense, and when he's defeated, he revives with 100% health and 100% turn meter. That's what Hatred does. So basically, once he gets this buff, he becomes really hard to kill. So he's like feeding off of this pain. He's laying down this pain, feeding off of it to turn it into hatred. And then if you're trying to kill him, you'll get rid of the hatred, but he's inflicting more and more pain. He's getting 100% turn meter, so he'll probably do that crush again to lay down the pain again. And then he'll get it off again really fast and just keep reapplying hatred to himself. So he'll just keep coming back. It's kind of a nightmare once he gets going. If you can't take him out fast, it's gonna be bad. All right, he does have a unique, and this does have a Zeta. So let me try and read the part that doesn't have the Zeta, without the Zeta, and then I'll say what the Zeta adds. So he has, his unique is the Lord of Pain, obviously. He has 100% defense, 100% tenacity against enemies with pain. 100% tenacity against enemies with pain. What? Oh. So try to manage him. At the start of each enemy's turn, if they have pain, he will gain taunt. So he's going to be kind of flash taunting. And this isn't during his turn. This is during their turn. If the enemy we had some confusion on this when we were watching the footage and we were playing with them. It was like, why isn't he taunting? Why is he taunting? So it's when the enemy has plague, or not plague, pain, and they take a turn, he'll taunt until the end of their turn. And then at the end of each turn, Sion inflicts pain for 3 turns. All this pain is for 3 turns. It's a long debuff. On enemies who damaged him that turn. So as you're trying to kill him, he's spreading the pain, so you kind of got to do it fast. When allied Darth Traya or Darth Nihilus are critically hit, reduce held by hatred's cooldown by 1. Oh, I included the Zeta part in there, sorry. So the Zeta part was that he inflicts pain on enemies who damaged him during that turn. That part is the Zeta. That people who damage him, because he's going to be taunting every now and then, that they get pain. Then, and basically, if he's taunting, then the person who is attacking him has pain. So this is kind of punishing if they're like calling to assist someone who doesn't have pain, or if you're trying to take him out when he's not taunting before he gets pain on you, then he'll put pain on you. It's just, this is a crazy kit. Okay, so that little piece was the Zeta. Then the last part of the unique that's not part of the Zeta is when Traya or Nihilus are critically hit, reduce held by hatred's cooldown by 1. So it's getting reduced another way. And we don't know the exact details, but we do know that Traya and Nihilus and Sion are going to have little pieces of their unique kind of like this, just a little piece that kind of work together and kind of play off each other. So, in playing, like I said, Visas seems kind of promising for other game modes, not necessarily Arena. Maybe on like a General Kenobi Xeris team. I hate Xeris. But otherwise, I think she's better safe for other game modes. But Sion is a blast to play. He's so fun, and it looks like a really great kit. I mean, it's hard to say until we get it in the real life, but it's looking like really, I'm really optimistic. And the best team that we all kind of settled on for Arena, at least, again, tons of other game modes out there, but for Arena, because that's where we got to play test, was a Palpatine lead with Vader, Nihilus, Sith Trooper, and Sion. So Sith Trooper and Sion kind of ended up working really well together with the alternating taunts, and Sith Trooper being a Sith that gives Vader buffs and just working well with the team. I still can't really tell if you could use Kenobi instead of Trooper. So I would advise to don't go hard on Sith Trooper right away right now, because I think all of us kind of landed on that was the team. We were talking afterwards, like that's the team that we felt did the best, and it was like, yeah, that's what we all found too. But upon hearing that, don't go hard on Sith Trooper just yet. Like, get it ready, but don't go crazy until we turn, because if Kenobi can work, then that's a tune you maybe don't have to gear up all the way for Arena. But so that's where we're going with this, and this is just the beginning. This is a really fun time. It's a great time for this game. Let me know what you all think, and how you think this is all going to play in with Traya and the raid and everything, and what you think about these kits, how you want to use these characters. I want to hear it all. Blow up my comments, and I'll see you all in the next video.